Alright. Listen, le bona metolo, iceberg, Titanic, soaring with some megoro. Let's get to the solo. Just because I said I flip herbs, I guess it's domo. Let's get check a mekobo, mareja, hona bugana, ebe eka le soma. Let's get the toro, cause you thought that I was washed up to Bundy Coco. But the streets know it's already pogo. Yeah, see the relevant retoko. We wanna bring your spot, Ribulala di pompo. Cause the flow stays on, Litigala di chompo. Reroja mi bileng, Orebone di bileng will hurt you. Treat you like you late for curfew. Gaps town is where it gets down, we birthed you. Rogo just a nest them, through the mic we served you. In the fix to my bellas in the mix, holding up your own fifth for a pack of the six in the bag. Say it ain't so, don't try and approach. Blow a kiss if you know that you's a chick with a wallet full of clips and you rise into the kick and the track. Say it ain't so, don't try and approach.
I never thought I would meet anyone, I swear to God. Yeah, it's the season of love, man. Yeah. And our parents love me too. What's up, guys?
The SapioSexual Platter.
Have you ever found yourself stuck in a moment in time? Whether it's because of a tragedy in the past that left you traumatized, or a glorious moment that you want to live over and over again. Why are we unable to metamorphosize into who we are meant to be in the present moment? Is it because we're unable to accept the ebbs and flows of life? Seasons? On today's episode, that's exactly what we'll be delving into. My name is Shatani Somalakai.
And I am Belse Abo Ame.
And this is
The SapioSexual Platter. Joining us today is a wordsmith of excellence, of wittiness. He is an African poet and one of the biggest rappers in Africa, an award-winning rapper. He's continuously transitioned his understanding with language and words, and he's moved from being a full-time musician to expanding his horizons and starting a podcast where he interviews people of all walks of life. But he just didn't stop there. He was on radio for some time, and the beautiful lady sitting next to me used to listen to him was it evening, 6 to 9?
It was in the morning.
Yeah, 6 to 9. So I am nervous, I am excited, I am elated, because for me, when I look at the superstar we're with today, is I recall the little girl in me who was so fascinated with hip hop. And join me in welcoming the big SCAR.
Thank you so much, guys.
The little girl in me is
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, as you heard, Ska,
Emma,
from her introduction, just talking about life and the seasons of life, what would you say your journey has been when you look at your understanding of seasons?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. This is such a cool spot and a great set as well, and great people.
Thank you.
The season, for me to get to this part of my life, I think this is a season where I'm actually starting to enjoy the lessons that I've learned.
Wow.
You know, a lot of what I've been going through from a young age. I started off rapping when I was 16. My mom signed my contract then.
Wow.
You know, which is why I'm such a sucker for mothers of entertainers and people who choose the road less traveled. You know, because that was the reason. If she didn't sign that contract behind my dad's back, you know, it wouldn't have been this. So all of the things that I started experiencing were all lessons. Like for the better part of the 20 years that I've been a musician have been lessons.
Yeah.
Right now is when I'm actually using that experience to actually now do things and actually win because I have the experience that I have now. So I wouldn't know what to call it as a season, but I'd like to say, you know, I'm reaping. You know, I'm reaping from what I've sown.
That's beautiful. What is to reap in Setswana? This season.
Horror.
No, but Kira this season.
Oh, let her fool, Emma. Let her fool, Emma.
So what's the season? Let her fool.
Blind.
The big 40.
My girl is wearing orange. Like we're out here, we're bright. Like so, it's a really good time, and that's why I'm starting to have a better appreciation for Baholoane as well. When they try to tell me things back in the day, it doesn't fall on the same way that it used to back then. Yeah. Now I really understand that, you know, because of experience, they actually have seen this movie before, so they're actually trying to help me out, Robert. So I'm in that situation now. I'm trying to also, you know, help the younger musicians, especially the rappers.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming up, part of that misunderstanding was because there was no other people who was doing what I was doing. So I wasn't able to ask them questions. So I think Jana, that's another way of me giving back in my Letafula, but also, you know, sowing seeds back into like the other kids as well.
Well, I mean, we're happy for you to be enjoying the kafula. Much deserved.
Thank you so much.
As she said, I used to listen to you on the real enchilada.
Yo.
My memory, I was in comedy going to school, so I used to play, and I listened to you in Dumi Ramsden. And like, I used to love your conversations, and I was like, wow, like I really love, like that was transitioning from you being a hip hop star that we knew you as, but I was like, wow, he's really good on radio.
Yeah. Thank you so
it was
much.
Your voice, your conversationalism. You know, I used to call you every now and then, but you know.
Oh wow.
Because him and Dumi used to talk about everything.
You know what's crazy about that? It's also because of our age difference. I was walking in as a rapper, and so you can imagine how pompous I was about like being a know-it-all, and she was a seasoned broadcaster.
Yeah.
And who was like a woman also, but older than me. So for the fact that was the first time having a woman as a breakfast show host, and having someone who thinks he's also popular as a co-host. Yeah. Now she was anchoring. I was literally having to learn from her. So shout out to Dumi. You know, if it wasn't for her, I don't think that those were some of those things that I was holding on to.
Yeah.
Because like I was in the wilderness, and the very fact that you're affirming that, you know, it actually became a thing that I followed was because of someone who was able to help me navigate through that. So shout out to me. You should have her here. Like she would love. You guys would get more from her than me, you know. So
my question really was with respect to just the different transitions, because you know, rapper, broadcaster. How do you think you were able to navigate those, but also just accept that there's more than just this linear path?
My dad went to school a lot, go England. So he's a major guy when it comes to education. So that's why my mom signed the contract. But like he was the one who exposed me to a whole lot of things through VHS. He used to record programs like Hard Talk. BBC. It was when he was there, it was during like the Gulf War. So there was a lot of reporting, like when CNN started becoming like 24-hour channels and stuff. So content then was like a movie. It was like a soapy. Wow. So that's how I consumed TV and news and stuff.
So he would record it for you?
He recorded, I don't know why he recorded TV, news programs, but he'd have them on VHS. A lot of the stuff that came back was videos, vinyls, music. That's why even with my music, Bomitolo has influence in rock and roll. Yeah. So it's because he brought all this stuff back.
Yeah.
So he is, you know, the average Motswana man, like we were always, I go to Maraka every single Friday, Saturday, you know, but it was funny when I saw them accept me as a rapper, because everyone else started seeing that this kid is actually good, but it was because of him, but he still wanted me to Moraki.
Wow.
So we had that fight as well, but for me to ultimately get into other things was because of being exposed to it.
Yeah.
He exposed me to Moraka, to broadcasting, to music. I wish he did the fashion. This dude only just bought jackets and sneakers. So it's because of my father, you know, that I became a lot of what I became. But you know, like I said, my mom signed the contract. So,
Yeah.
What
was the trigger that made you think to yourself, rap is what I want to do? And then obviously you walked that journey as a rapper, you gained your success, the channel was, you're like everywhere. And this was before social media.
So people don't understand the
that was quite magnetic.
Yeah.
And then it's like after reaching that peak in your career, your music being trending, obviously with evolution there comes a point where you reach a plateau.
Yeah.
Did you experience any plateau, like a season of just
stagnation?
Yeah.
Ageism is a bad thing out here, man.
Really?
Hey, I think we for me, because you know where we live also, you know, there's a certain age where you reach, and every single question at the Christmas link up is, when are you getting married? And even though these same people are being celebrated outside, where you are Scar's cousin, you're Scar's aunt.
Yeah.
But the essence of being a true African man is, you're gonna have to get married, and you're gonna have to be serious about what it is that you want in your life. So it was a mixture of my age, and also the fact that there was also young people getting into the business as well. Your ATIs, your all these guys that also, I think will call you uncle. Like, he started calling me uncle. with our line of work, especially with hip hop, it's like it's a young man's game.
Yeah.
That's Tupac died at 25. You know, we're only now seeing Jay-Z at 40 something now. Yeah. I'm that to a couple of these ones here. It's like, I guess maybe retirement age is when Scar stops. And I don't want to have that burden as well.
Yeah.
You know, I also know that I'm good at other things. So I think I hit that plateau when the radio stations, because they like replacing the new with the old. Especially this is the culture in our country. You know, we never try to learn from the past generation. It's always out with the old and in with the new. It's even in the workplace as well, where we're doing our own thing. And South Africans don't do that even with their music. You know, they learn from past cultures, and that's why they're able to remix music from back in the day and make it work now. So we need to try and work with that and not just discard people because they're older. So that's what happened. I felt older. Everyone's telling me I'm old. Yeah. You know, so I tapped into my other powers, you know.
I'm wondering, when you reach that stagnation, how did you navigate it psychologically and physically?
Yeah.
Like, how did you walk yourself through that season?
I have some friends, because you get into, you don't think it's depression, but like you question yourself a lot about what it is your purpose, you know. I mean, I think a lot of the time what we forget about is your reason for doing things. I just didn't understand what I was doing what for, you know. With broadcasting, it started feeling like, because the RNFMs of this world approached me because they thought, you know, I had like some personality that they could use. And I've always loved broadcasting. Yeah. So I saw it as an opportunity to push local music and BW pop culture forward. Because a lot of the DJs and presenters who were on just wanted to play South Africans, whatever was trending. Yeah. They just wanted to play that and stick with that. But I'm in the studios with these kids. Yeah. I'm hanging out with them at shows and whatever. I know how good they are if someone would just hear them out. So I started making BW pop culture really cool. And Owen Rampa will tell you, like anyone will tell you, like this, not calling us local music was something that I pushed for a lot. So we call it BW music instead of calling it local, because I believe that that was one of the callings that I have to put us to the front, even with what I'm doing with the podcast, is telling these stories so that, you know, they don't just die out, so that these youngsters know that there's other people who did things before. So for me, it was purpose driven about pushing BW, you know, pop culture forward. Yeah.
So since we're talking about seasons, for me, it sounds like the plateau, as it were. There's an aspect of it which is like organic, but it also sounds like an aspect of it which is almost like self-imposed. Yeah. Because of like listening to like the people that were saying things,
Ageism.
ageism and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder, like, when you were just like thinking about your life and the trajectory, especially with like hip hop, do you not ever think yourself, like, at some point I'm gonna be older, and what does that mean? Like,
Well, I have
was
my
it something you thought about?
I have my father to remind me of that.
But what about
For
you?
real. For me, when you're having all this fun, sometimes it's hard to just stop and think about it. But that's why I'm saying it's important not to alienate yourself from family.
Yeah.
You know, if you, the clock might pass, and by the time you try to turn back, no one is even there. People are dead or whatever, or people just have forgotten about you because you've been so selfish. So for me, it was partly, me, but my father is a constant reminder, he will tell you, you're not getting any younger. I know you enjoy what you're doing, but, there's more to this thing than just having fun, And like I said, my dad, well, I didn't say it. My dad is the last born of a lot of dudes. And then my mom is like the firstborn of a lot of women. So I have a lot of cousins that look up to me also, so also the family aspect, there's when they come to Gabs, who are they going to call? Is that big brother? Am I going to be go and an after party or something? Or do I have to man up, you know? So seeing them also grow up, going through problems with sexuality, because I'm the cool uncle sort of, but like I'm hearing it and I'm understanding how we're going to place this to the entire family as well. So it's about getting into that role, but the constant reminder from family is important. Don't alienate yourself. Gabs is not your friends or your family, Your family will tell you that hard truth.
Yeah.
But you gotta swallow it. You have to be close to the people who care for you unconditionally, because legacy and le family.
Yeah. It's so interesting because when I was thinking about this conversation, the seasons that I thought about were the seasons of nature. And how when you're living life, it's like the trees experience the different seasons. The autumn, the winter, the summer, the spring, and you see the change with the trees. The animals as well, I think the impalas that mate or give birth in September. You remember the time that there was a time that we were touring the country and there was a season where cows are giving birth. So then it made me realize that as human beings, we sort of think the seasons of the weather and the environment only are applicable to other seasons of nature. And we sort of like don't internalize the effect of the seasons on us as animals, because as much as it has an effect on Mokomu, on the tree, then also Komu is cow for those who are watching internationally. And also now for me, the person, it must have an effect. But then we would like maybe take like be aware of like little changes, like maybe in winter our skin dries out, and then it gets all patchy. Those are the little things we can take on. But I wonder if as human beings, do we ever sit down and really internalize the effect of those seasons on us? But from what you said, what it triggered in terms of train of thought in my mind was, I'm looking at it from these seasons of life that exist already, and they've been labeled and branded to us, and we've adopted them. From what you said that was interesting was that you explored seasons in terms of phases of evolution in life. And from you being the uncle who's of firstborn mother, taking care of a lineage of women, the matriarchy, and then from lastborn father, who's also a lastborn of many patriarchy lineage, and then now looking at you, the way you internalize seasons is according to, there's a way to be in a wedding season, there's a way to be when it's mourning season, there's a way to be when you are raising a child. And it's actually quite powerful, because I feel like all the things you're saying and the meaning of them, how I'm internalizing them, relates to a conversation that we just had, and it was a conversation about African parenting.
Okay.
And how it has evolved. So it's just very interesting to hear what you just said.
Yo, like the way you just put it is because like we are going through a season of mourning right now. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. Expand.
It's really, really bad. One of my cousins passed away last year, Christmas.
Yeah.
So we just didn't know how to treat this Christmas.
Ah.
You know, it was really, really bad. His dad is not taking it well. Who's my uncle. And we don't know what we're doing. None of us knows what we're doing. We didn't, you know, there's the visit to his gravesite. We used to all hang out in December, but like now we're so fragmented this past December. And like, you know, even though I'm saying Kele Kafula, it's not in all aspects, you know, because like right now, like I'm saying, we're just trying to figure out how we're going to get back to that happiness without one of us anything. And this is the first time something like that happens. So it's a very, very scary time as well.
That's intense.
Yeah.
So like, how do you keep yourself grounded in those stagnations, those seasons of mourning? Because from the conversation and what I'm understanding, different seasons have their vibrations.
Yeah.
So obviously this one is a more low vibrational season.
Yeah.
You touched on your journey with rap and then what you're going out through in your personal life.
Yeah.
How do you then anchor yourself and keep yourself emotionally grounded, psychologically grounded, so that you don't plateau into the negatives of either maybe escaping through drugs, escaping through sex, escaping through just self-sabotaging, self-harming behavior? What do you do so that somebody who's watching could also take on? Yeah.
Church and prayer, you know. I'm lucky to have someone who is all about church in my life. But like at the same time, I'm seeing the benefits of it. I've got myself closer and closer to Checho than I used to be back in the day, because like I just wanted some normalcy in my life, especially as a performer who you know, everyone expects you to always be happy and smiling. I just wanted somewhere where I can be able to fully escape, and I've seen that through prayer and family. Like I say, like I'm finding so much comfort in being around people that, you know, have unconditional love, or landlord, they don't like me, at least they'll remind me why I'm an a-hole, you know. So at least those people can help me out. But I'm so tired of pretentiousness, because it doesn't help me develop or grow from whatever it is that I'm going through. And even though, you know, Pansy's passed away, rest in peace, it's exposed some weaknesses in our family that we need to tighten up on.
Yeah.
You know, as much as little man made feel like we're okay. It took that one thing to completely have us scrambled. You know, and we were all sitting in our little corners and afraid to go and call his dad, you know. We were tighter than that. So I'm just thinking, Checho, it's a helper, but whatever it is that you do, I mean, I do believe because where do you think these dudes go?
Yo!
Where do you think they go? You know, so I do believe, and we've had experiences in my family as well where some people showed up from South Africa and said, well, you know, one of our relatives was married to them, whatever, they needed to go our cemetery and all of that to go and do certain things and whatever. And my dad is that type. He's like, all right, let's go. And then he told me at the end, it's like, you need to wake up, because like he used to think that I had my head in the clouds as well and not understand.
Are you naive?
Naive about our African experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything else about anything else, and if anyone brought it to me, I'd immediately dismiss it as buloi. He was, the day he did it, I saw, like, he was scared to tell me this, because he thought maybe I was going to take him in a certain way, like, yo, Queen, What is this about?
The way he did what?
He told me about these people wanting to do these things,
Like
go to the
rituals
cemetery.
at the
cemetery, yeah.
Oh,
But then I told him, I was like, yo, I don't mind that because I understand or there's more to the experiences that are not about to Africa than just, Bible hand. We don't know about them.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he's willing to share that with me instead of just thinking, this guy's a rapper from Gap City. Hey, get me involved,
Wow.
So just to understand him.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing your experience with your family and our condolences.
Thank you so much.
I was just thinking about it and I was just thinking it's so interesting how just with different generations, particularly the current and just the previous one, that there's a lack of preparation for inevitable life events.
Yeah.
Like death.
Yeah.
Because in the past when, something like that occurred, there was already somebody everybody kind of knew, what role to take on immediately.
Yeah.
Because there was like a preparation for it,
Yeah.
being that it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Like we all know that at some point, someone's going to pass away, unfortunately. And I just wonder, like, what do you think it is about like how we live now as Africans that makes us naive or I don't want to be rude, but almost irresponsible. Because I was really thinking to myself, like, I'm the eldest daughter, and God forbid, if something like that were to happen, where do I begin? Because there's such reliance on the older generation to take care of things.
Definitely.
And I'm like, I can remember that, okay, this, you take the body here, you do this, and you do this, but like, say like you're the one now that's navigating that, like, what is it about our generation now that we just don't even have the capacity, the know-how, the tools, the sense of responsibility that I'm the one who's supposed to take that on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that because we recently just also went to a funeral with one of my boys. His dad passed away, and we were all like that as well in that moment. But then I just realized we have so much confidence for other things that we don't try and apply it on the things that we were raised with. We know what's supposed to happen. We just don't apply our minds to it or find out who it is that is supposed to be. We have insurance. We're ready for the inevitable. What about ensuring in the lineage in the family? Because okay, we don't go for these meetings, these funerals, these weddings, because that's when the other people get to see you. That's a real thing. They get to see you, and then you are helping with what happens in their families, so they'll be ready. Because people do take some things personally. Habasa, Bonnie, let's say your family and stuff, and you're not there. And that's how, like I say, my dad would push me all the time, even if I don't want to come through. Be present in there so that they can see you, and then they can talk to you also, so that when it happens, unfortunately, to you, they can help out. But I just wanted to talk about also the confidence that we have for Western stuff. Like, we know everything about it, but just to apply our brains to... I'm not perfect, dude. Anyone who's watching this knows me. It's like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
I'm learning too, but my confidence levels have gone up because now I'm getting my hands dirty.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out, okay, where are we going? After this, what are we supposed to do? And once we build that confidence, they're afraid of you in every other respect. Applying ourselves to that and consciously doing that, I think will go a long way for us as well. And you're helping them as well, because it's not like they are perfect or people know. It's just because you see funerals every week.
Yeah.
So now you want to act like you know everything about everything. So just because you are around it every week.
Right.
No. This is my relative too. I have to have a say. But if I know at least the bare minimum about what's expected, I think that's the long and short of it. And then from then on, we can all do this together. Because if we ignore some of these responsibilities, and if we need each other, man, and that's to grow the customers, our family, especially Lebana don't even know how to speak Setswana. So how are you going to be able to teach them this other stuff? So I'm just saying, let's consciously, even if we are the coolest rappers around, dog, even if you are the coolest slay queen, whatever, try and understand what happens. What's one thing? Just try. They won't kick you out of it. Just try and understand it so that you can teach it to your children so that, we don't lose touch with our legacies and, our ancestry. Yeah.
Yeah, so I understand you'd really to be saying that, and I guess that's the problem we identified on the SapioSexual Platter, which is just too much reliance on Western culture, too much knowing of it, and not recognizing that you know so much but know so little about your own culture. So, I mean, thank you for that, and thank you for encouraging everybody, which we implore the same, and we're also on that journey to understanding ourselves better as a people.
Yeah.
So talk about like the difficult experiences that you've been through, like the scandalous ones. Even like
when I thought about his journey and how Yarona actually had hunted him. And then you get into this new season, which would maybe be the summer, because you were planting the seeds of where you are now with the podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
You then experienced a major winter season with Yarona.
Yes, ma'am.
And, I don't know, feels like a dark period for you, because then you had to walk the journey with who you are and your reputation.
Yeah.
And the compromise of it from stories that were told about you. Maybe
Yes.
just want to share with the audience on that season of life?
Yes. I think that's where I got to at least, bet on myself, because I had understood myself a bit better now. It wasn't based on what they were saying about me. At that point, I think I understood myself and my flaws and what I'm able to achieve as well, which is why when it happened, because how it happened was like I was accused of being a threat to a female in the business. She felt like I might hit her.
Yeah.
And all of my life got destroyed because of a feeling. And I had been working myself back because I'd been trying to prove myself to them over and over and over and over and over, and they'd fire me and I'd keep coming, and they'd fire me and I'd keep coming. And at that point, I think that was, I don't know if that's the plateau, but there was a point where I was like, F this. It's like, I know what I'm capable of. It was during COVID as well. I was able to get people on board, sponsorships. I'd created features. I'd done all kinds of things. I was driving during the lockdown. I thought I was important to them until they spit me out, And at that moment, I was like, you know what, man? I'm not, no matter what, I can't go back. So for even starting the podcast was when my lady Abby, about current affairs, and you can tell I'm a blabbermouth. So why don't I go back? And I could tell, like, if I don't do something about this talent, I was probably going to lose her because I was going to talk her ear off.
Yeah.
So what options are there? And I talked to Local Corner before, 3 years before, they'd wanted me to do a pod. And that's when I really focused into it. Okay, if we're going to do this thing, we have to do it until it works.
Yeah.
And through broadcasting, through being an entertainer, through being working with people like Boma and Peasy who don't know how to give up, how can we make this definitely work? And it had to be the team. It had to be reoccurring content. The well should never run dry. The same way that I made sure that it never ran dry for over 10 years working for those people.
Yeah.
How can I not do it for myself?
10 years.
More. They never gave me a certificate. Guys are out here whiling and stuff. They don't let the dinner around. So I worked for a long time on the radio. And if I'm able to do that every day for a salary for another person, how am I not going to be able to do that for myself?
Shout out to you.
And then that's when we got into it. And then she's line producer. I got my little bros with me. And for them to work with me when there's no money for Overbowl, how long was that before we got our first check? Like with 30, 40 episodes.
Whoa. Wow.
And learning wasn't even a check. But you have to get some people who believe in you also, who can also work with you, while learning you put your powers in there as well. So I know I'm moving away from the question, but like...
No, I love it. I love that because that's what we wanted to just give color to the topic. And from what you said, I've just extracted this idea that in hindsight, you were going through the dark.
It was really dark.
And you can look back at it and make a joke about like, where is Scott's certificate?
You did a PhD.
Come on, guys. Oh, come on.
It also sounds to me like that was a season of formation. In as much as it was a season to break you, it's a very season that created, Podicast.
Definitely.
Which is the most relevant thing for, the kind of season we're at the moment. Because podcasts are what's driving, commerce all over the world.
Definitely.
And so, my lesson from that is it may look like a season of, darkness.
Yeah.
But on the other side, and that's probably inevitable, is, a Podicast moment. So
that's what's really crazy about it. And thank you for that. Because, I think I never speak on that a lot. When all that stuff was happening and I felt blackballed, it was like every single person that knew me before believed everything. But in life, you can't stop things from happening. Not only death, but even people's belief and you did it, you're the bad guy, and you can't sit down and take that. I'm not saying stand up and fight them and say, hey, it's not me. No. Yeah. You have to fully internalize that information and try and find out, okay, what about it is true though? Because you can't have a whole room. I mean, all those people that are can't all be wrong.
Yeah.
So there has to have been something that, I was doing
that was rubbing them
a certain way. Yeah. And if I take that with me somewhere else, it probably will rub those people the same way. Yeah. So I had to try and figure out about me. What is it that might rub people the wrong way? I haven't gotten rid of it yet. I've been a solo artist since I was 16 years old. I believe me. I can get this done. I can do all of this stuff. But then I had to let go of a little bit of that so that I can include people so that they also feel important in the process that we're doing. Okay, this win wasn't just because of this guy. We're all a part of it. We're all a part of it. So that's also what helps. So I hope that helps people out. You might be the star of the movie, but the stars of their own movies as well.
Yeah. I was actually watching, this is so interesting. I was watching an episode podcast of sorts. It was Angelina Jolie, Demi Moore, Zendaya, the actors
the actresses of the moment.
Yeah.
And one of them, I think it was Zendaya, she spoke about that, it's so easy to fall. I don't know who it was, but they said it's so easy to fall into the trap of, I did this movie, it's me. And they were like, no, but the editor who's making you look good, he's doing a whole lot of work. You might be the face, but there are people who are pulling more weight than you as the talent. Yeah. And she was like, once she switched that in her mindset, it shifted the conversation within her from me to appreciating the effort of everybody and really deeply internalizing. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting to think that way. So it resonated with what you're saying.
Definitely.
And connecting them together.
Yeah. And for me, also another lesson would then be, I guess seasons are necessary to create your character.
Yes.
Character formation tool, because obviously if we're just going through, summer or spring all the time.
Yeah, you won't learn.
Good. What you were saying just sparked the train of thought of, I wonder what happens if in evolution of humanity, when we are environmentally exposed to different seasons.
I think there's a direct correlation. Yeah. Because Europeans are stoic and dark.
Yeah.
Sad.
Sorry. Are we talking about colonialism here?
No, but no, they will tell you that I moved to Africa, I moved to Botswana because of the sun. Literally, it's not a joke.
Okay.
I mean,
no, we need some cold.
The weather makes them sad. It actually makes them depressed because it's cloud cover and it's
gray all the time.
So I think there's wisdom in your point. You say there's a direct correlation to your energy vis-a-vis the actual natural environment that you're in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, just even thinking that, I'm like, where are we moving, guys?
We need about season.
No, we need to move to a place where our energy is just like,
Yeah, it keeps popping.
Nigeria now on like
Not under the sun here, so
but I think Cape Town would be a good one.
But Cape Town, the winter is bad. It's very muddy and cold and it rains.
I enjoyed Malaysia when I went to perform there before. It was just that it would be extremely hot, but then like some rain and stuff.
Okay.
I love this type of weather like that. It's probably tropical, yeah. I can call it tropical. Because like the rain pops out from nowhere. So
oh wow.
But you do know like even in gaps, like your mood can get switched off by like right now.
Yeah.
Just turn on. It can mess with my mood a lot. It's like
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
I can't handle.
What season do you think we're in as a country?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I gotta watch this. Get into the autumn.
I think we're in autumn. Even after the elections, the new government.
Yeah, I think so. I think we are in
Where
autumn.
we came from, where? What season were we?
No, whatever. Well, yeah, so the territory is the thing I carry. And we're about to get ready for, because I don't think we're ready right now. Yeah, we're getting ready for new leaves. And those ones still need the thing are dropping off because you can't say because of a month worth of elections, everything is done. So we're in the process of getting rid of what it is, sitting and say,
Yeah.
and we're preparing in the next 2 years to actually get into spring. Because right now, right now it's like a poker match, man. It's like everyone is watching everyone's move. What are you gonna do next? So I think we're just transcending and killing off whatever corruptions, all of the little things that we felt were holding us back.
Yeah.
I think they're all dying out, and we're preparing for our next season, which is when Botswana will flourish in the next 3 years or so, because now we're asking ourselves some really deep questions.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of people because of privilege, of who your dad is, who your mom is. Right now, everyone is thinking, I can get the Botswana dream.
Yeah.
So I think everything else is just falling by the wayside that we think is bad, and then we're preparing for something that's better.
Powerful.
I hope that makes sense.
With the benefit of hindsight, as a man, 40s, you say.
Yes.
Yeah, 1040.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Super dope. Actually, before I even ask this question, let's talk about love, because you did mention your baby a lot, in this podcast, and I would think that was a season. Do you want to share that about that? Because I think love is such a when it's right, it does a lot. And my friend and I think was it last year or the year before last, we were like, Nick. Something happened with the energy in the photo. Like, this is a different man.
Yeah.
So share that season.
Even who you became.
Okay.
No, I've always been a sucker for love, but like I just didn't feel it was for me. I've had some crazy bad experiences, but it's also because like no one really, I think, like her, took the effort to try and know who I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm a lot of things, man. I'm on social media. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a broadcaster. I'm a father. I'm an uncle. I'm a nephew. I want to cry. So this was the first time in a very long time that anyone took the time to try and understand all that nonsense. And without crazy expectations about, okay, I know this about you, so this means you will act this way when this thing happens as well. It was just that. And also because we had God next to us, because she is a pastor's kid. PK! So,
Even her.
hey, I'm a PK. What? No, but they have like, because of also from where they're from at home, the spirituality that comes from that. I've always been a spiritual person. I went to St. Joe. I used to compete for the prize, man. CRE. CRE. I know the Lord. So with her, so she
sees Christian religious education.
Yeah, Christian religious education. I swear.
Everybody get it.
So it was her being spiritual like that, and being able to, like, I guess, understand me and me understanding her and also what she plans on doing with her
wait,
life.
Would you win the award?
See, no, I never won it. I was second.
You just shocked me. I'm like,
No, listen. When I as a storyteller, I used to love CRE because there were stories and what you get from the message from those stories.
Both the Beatitude.
Hey, the Beatitudes.
We went to St. John's.
Pastor Astra. Yo, this is it. Like, we're safe, man. So that's it. Like, I loved the stories and, you know, the messaging. Those things gave me life, man. I really loved all of the Beatitudes. And with my story writing as well, my storytelling, it helped a lot. But with my lady, it was also because she didn't think twice about us doing business together. Like I say, being a grown-ass man, you have your own experiences about bad things happening. You have seen these two work together and the business didn't come together. She was like, they are not us. The thing with her also and Abby is that when I wanted to do a business and she also wanted to do a business herself, we agreed to do it together. But that was also complicated because I'd never been in business with someone I had interest in. And I didn't know what was going to grow quicker and what was going to grow slower and whatever. But and it's been the happiest I've been.
Wow.
Yeah, I really don't know how to explain it because I don't want people getting in on our things. But I just love her very, very much because of the person that she is and the way she's around people, the way she treats me. Because all the stuff that you see on social media it's what it is, man. I'm not really that person. And it's always crazy how people believe that person more than, they believe who I am. So I was lucky.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever going to meet anyone. Wow. I swear. So,
she's on set. That's so beautiful.
I never thought I would meet anyone. I swear. I swear to God. It's the season of love, man. Yeah. And our parents love me too. What's up, guys? The bros, it's crazy. It just got together like this. Hey, I was like, all right, cool. So this is what we're doing. Let's do this well.
Wow, beautiful.
That's beautiful. So with the benefit of hindsight, everything that you now know about life and the inevitability of change, you're gonna go through the dark, you're gonna go through the light, you're gonna go through the highs, the lows, and love, no love. What would you tell your younger self? And in telling your younger self, basically, what would you tell the African continent about seasons?
First of all, big up on this part as well. You guys got me thinking. I would have done this if it was any other part. What would I tell my younger self in African continent is about seasons is to be patient. I got patient over time. Be patient about whatever season it is that you're in and try and learn the lessons. Don't just look at it like, oh my goodness, I'm under attack. Why aren't you helping me? Try and internalize some of the stuff so that at least you try and come up with the answers for yourself and educate yourself, man, about things that are far away from what you think is what you are. Spirituality is a very, very, it's a complex thing. I mean, I've seen even musicians deal with it more than, I guess, regular people.
Yeah.
Your ATIs of the world. Sometimes you'll get on an interview and people will say, because Ati is all about energy and spirituality. Yeah. Someone that I would really love to see you guys have on the show one day. If you guys want him, I'll try and we'll hook it up because he's completely out of what all of this is, Why it's got thousands and thousands of people following him, but he's trying to figure himself out. Yeah. And in all of that, while you're still trying to, I've gone through that too, which is why he's one of the people that I can talk to about stuff like that. While you're going through what you're going through, try and find like-minded people as well that can help you in that. And that's the other advice that I can give. Try to find like-minded people. If you can't, then at least it's checho. If you are a Buddhist, you know, check Buddha out, you know, because some of this is not out there. It's right, Mogoena, because you're the one who has all of these experiences. So your patience in trying to figure things out can be the difference, you know. So
That's powerful.
Patience, learn the lesson, spirituality,
No doubt.
find like-minded people.
No doubt. Yeah.
Wow.
Bleh.
Wow.
No
I
doubt.
like that.
Powerful.
What do you guys want to talk about now? Because I want to ask you guys questions. It's like,
What would you want to ask us?
no, like this. This is very heavily Afrocentric. How did you guys come up with this concept of trying to get messaging out to people like Marilintile, Likipa African though?
I always say she kind of started the journey herself
Yeah.
with her own journey to spirituality. And she started to share. And the more she shared, you know, so she shares one thing, I go read, I go watch a podcast, I'm that person, watch 10 episodes.
Education.
And then I'm like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
And we just started to live through experiences together. And we had always planned to like do a podcast. Our vision board for 2020 was host a continentally successful podcast.
Yeah.
We just didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So eventually we came up with the SapioSexual Platter, based on the fact that we talk a lot, as you know, and what we.
But you also listen though.
We talk with each
Yeah.
other, and so we're like,
Talk for hours.
for hours. We're like, what
Yeah.
if we
So
just
exhausting sometimes.
monetize this?
Beautiful.
You know, like
Yeah.
monetize this idea of like we're always talking, and it's always intellectually stimulating conversation,
Yeah.
which is what a SapioSexual is really into.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was like, what is it gonna be about?
Yeah.
And you know, it was Africa Awakening, because in her journey and my journey, we found that the thing that prevents Africans from really exponentially reaching success is the conflict in identity.
Yeah.
It's, are you African? Are you part American? Are you Christian? Are you Buddhist? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just look at the trail of success for people all over the world, is an intrinsic understanding of their identity.
Who they are.
And that's what moves them through life.
Yeah.
You know, Donald Trump in himself, he is a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
He is the leader,
Yeah.
the best leader there is. And I really think that he's American. He must make America great again. And I think that's his identity that pushes him through to be successful. Nigerians, they are Nigerians, you know, and because they understand who they are, they're able to, you know,
let that through, yeah.
But like we say, what's a Motswana? Who's a Motswana?
Yeah.
Can we all collectively say the same thing? That's the thing that propels us to success.
Yeah.
And so the SapioSexual Platter is really about raising consciousness, not just for Botswana, but for Africans, with the goal of liberating us.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But maybe Duma Boko might be it for us. Maybe we can rally around him. I don't know. He's a leader also, but I love that.
Yeah.
Pick up, guys. I really, really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
to the future we go.
When I talk about, just to wrap up all that she said, very right, but when I talk about the context of the SapioSexual Platter in relations to seasons, I think it was also just from a seasonal point, reflecting my own journey, was seeing the transition from living in traditional societies. I grew up in the village. You know, I was a her girl. My granddad didn't have grandsons, so we had to do the work. So I lived a very African lifestyle, and I spoke only Setswana at some point. Then I watched the phases of my life transitioning into speaking in English, going to school, being deemed dumb because I couldn't understand English, speak English, and knowing within myself that I'm coming from a Tswana medium school and I spoke Setswana and I was brilliant in class, I was the best in class, shifting from that to I was smart one day and I woke up one day and I was dumb. And just navigating those seasons and seeing modernity come into place. It was just so interesting. And even with the systems that we're in now, it was very foreign to me. I couldn't see myself fully in the corporate world and I couldn't understand why. Even when I was studying my undergraduate law, it was just a very foreign system to me, very foreign experience. And I was studying in England at the time. Then I was like, this is so, my focus and my journey in life and engaging life, I'm so focused on things external to me
Yeah.
that are foreign to me.
Yeah.
And when I look at my history and investment in my lineage, as you said,
Yeah.
when I look at my lineage and where I'm coming from, it's very foreign to where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why is that so. I don't understand why Africa is deemed to be poor. I don't understand the narratives that are being sold to us. So then when I did my postgrad, I then went into studying Africa. So studying sub-Saharan Africa through a master's in international development and really seeking to understand why the narratives about where I'm from are the way that they are when I'm coming from the experience, and I never saw anything wrong with it.
It was a beautiful one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
just those different transitions as well when we talk about seasons planted the seed. Because then now it became a journey of like-minded people where you can see her, she's got something in her, she's a talent, and she's got a voice, and it's African in nature. We might be colonized right now, but best believe it'll just wither away and really now sit and be here and hope that our ancestors look at us and say, "Re tsamaile, tsela e re tsamaileng for the many years that we did." For these girls to sit down and say, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Like, enough is enough.
Definitely.
It's time for the African voice to be forward. It's time for the African voice to be had. It's time for the African voice to be understood. Because as you heard from Scar, that understanding develops a lot of love. And when he saw his woman love him and understand him the way that she did, it opened up a certain aspect to him. So, in conclusion, as Africans, it's time to embrace that we've walked the seasons that we've walked. It is time to embrace that once we share our ideologies and our thoughts, it will build understanding, and through understanding, inevitably, we will reach to the point of love. I am Belse Abo Ame.
I am Shatani Somalaka.
And this is the SapioSexual Platter.